So how do we go about designing a responsive web design? Well, when we're laying this out in Photoshop, what we want to really do is the best way is to just set up 3 different documents. So set up for the monitor, and if you're going to do, I have set it for the iPhone and the iPad. Now, again, if you want to focus on and designing for a Galaxy tablet, then totally go for it. It might load a little bit differently, but it's not going to be that off if you design for the iPad. Check the resolutions and see a lot of them are keeping up with one another in a very similar kind of fashion. So what would I do? Well, why would I'd have all 3 of these open at the same time, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using the same colors. You're going to be using the same things, right? But you're going to be sizing it differently. Now, one thing that we always want to think about with the iPhone and the iPad is that we have enough space for a finger to touch. Okay, so that's a really important piece, that there is enough space for a finger to touch. So what we can do, we can come on over to our monitor and we could take different things. So we could take this object right here, we could go in and we could select this layer, we could copy it and bring it over to a new layer. So how would we go about doing that? So what we would do, we could come on in over to here. So we could come on in and we could select this. We could come on in and say edit, copy. We could come on in over to the iPhone. We could say edit, paste. Now what we're going to want to do too is change the size of this. So we could come on up to image, edit, free transform, change the size, make the graphics work better, make this be, maybe a little bit higher. Okay, now as we come on in here too, so we could start with this one for our header. All right, same thing, I just copied it. I could come on over into my iPad. I could paste it again over in here, change the size of it so it works with the iPad. Edit, free transform, work with the size of this, pull it over. And again, as we start to work with all of these different things, it'll be easy for us to just come back over and go from the monitor, choose what it is that we want to move with it. All right, so that's pretty much how I would recommend going about doing this, really working through. And as you design for one, think about how the design is going to look on the others. And again, I would still work with this iPad one. Don't think this one, I must have not applied the transformation. All right, so now when I click off, it will say to apply. And there we have it. So again, as you work designing for one, think about the other 2, and you'll go about creating and doing responsive web design. Thanks so much.